story we've been following all afternoon and evening. The Butler County Prosecutor's Office has made an arrest in the 2011 death of Katelyn Markham. Thanks for staying with us or joining us. I'm Rob Williams.
And I'm Jessica Schmidt. Prosecutor Mike Moser said that his investigators arrested John Carter today. Now, Carter was Katelyn's fiance when she disappeared from her Fairfield townhome in August of 2011. Markham's remains were found in April of 2013 in a wooded area in Indiana, about 30 miles from her home. Her death was ruled a homicide, but investigators have never released any cause of death in her case. Now, we do know just last month, investigators did execute some search warrants at Carter's former home where his mother still lives. They also searched another property related to this case. They even dug up some yards looking for evidence. Now, they've said they did take some evidence, but they did not arrest Carter at that time. They, of course, have not said what that evidence was. Now, we do know Carter was actually the person who called 911 to report Katelyn Markham missing back in 2011, and he spoke with us on camera shortly after Markham's disappearance.
I just want people to know that I feel she's still alive, and people are telling me that she's still around. So I want to keep that faith. I want to keep my spirits up and everything.
So again, that was John Carter right there speaking with us in 2011. I did also speak with Katelyn Markham's dad today, Dave Markham, just following the news of this arrest. He said that he's really still trying to process this, but he is glad to see justice beginning to unfold for his daughter.
It's not a surprise. I mean, I did suspect him all along. I think a lot of people, if not the vast majority of people, suspected him. Statistically, in a situation like this, it's the spouse or the boyfriend, or, I mean, 95% of cases like this, it's their spouse or boyfriend or fiance. So if you look at it statistically, this should have happened.
Yeah, you can kind of tell in his voice there, Rob, he's really just still trying to process this news. It's such a big development.
Because the thing is she went missing in 2011. They found her body in 2013.
Right.
And he's had this entire time where it didn't seem like anything was happening on the outside, right? And so now, boom, he gets the news that her fiance at the time has been arrested. That is a lot to process.
It is. It is. We know, Rob, that in 2016, they did say they had a person of interest, but still to this day, they have never said who that person of interest was. We also know just last month, and we reported this, that Jonathan Palmerton, actually a friend of John Carter's who knew Katelyn Markham, he was arrested for perjury. He's accused of lying to investigators about Katelyn Markham's case. Now, we still don't know exactly what they think he lied about or if it led to this.
Because, yeah, so this is the question you asked prosecutors was, did you get John Palmerton to flip on Carter, right?
Right.
Or was it evidence that they found at one of the residences that led them to Carter? But prosecutors aren't saying that, right?
I asked both those questions.
Yeah.
I said, look, you just arrested Jonathan Palmerton. Did that help you get here? You just did 2 search warrants. Did that help you get here? Mike Moser, the prosecutor, said, listen, I can't answer that. This is still very active and it's still early on in the criminal case, and so they're just not willing to share those details yet. They want to be careful not to hurt the case.
And those warrants, those search warrants were executed last month, right? Are you surprised that we've gotten here so quickly? I mean, you followed this case from the very beginning.
I think maybe to the outside world it may be surprising, but after talking with the prosecutor, Rob, he really did make it clear that there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, especially the last couple of years. And I got the indication from him that this has been building and that they have been working this for quite some time, but I think they were just cautious to release information to the public. And so for a lot of people, it may have seemed that way, but behind the scenes, they've really been going gung-ho at the prosecutor's office.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you the question that you asked her father. The name John Carter has always bubbled to the surface, right?
Yes.
I don't know if it's because they were in a relationship and that's usually the first person police looks at, but his name is not a surprise to you?
No, and we've all known who John Carter was. I mean, I spoke to him, Rob. We did a crime vault on Katelyn's case just a few years ago. I reached out to John, obviously, as her fiance. He did not want to go on camera at the time, but he gave us a statement. And in the statement, he essentially said, yeah, I want to find justice for her, too. I want to know what happened to her, too. And now this turn of events that he is accused of actually killing her. Obviously, he's innocent until proven guilty in court of law, so we'll see that unfold. But I think it will be interesting to find out what evidence got them to this point, because speculation has surrounded John Carter for a very long time.
Okay, so Jessica covered this case through Cincinnati's Crime Vault. You can watch that episode wherever you stream. And this, moving forward, might be a good time to visit the Beyond the Broadcast, too.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the podcast at the same time, and we have not covered Katelyn's case in the podcast yet, but I imagine we will be very soon.
As we get more information.
Right.
Nice job.